Hello everybody and welcome back to World of Warships Legends. My name is Spartan Elite 43 and tonight we are back in the Vermont. I know, something's going on here. Some reason lately I've been getting into the Vermont and things have been going on. So without further ado, let's get this party started. Now if you guys are new to the channel, punch that subscribe button for me. Helps the channel out quite a bit. And you can unsubscribe in a moment. Completely free. Also, if you enjoy these kinds of videos, punch the like button for me. Helps the channel out a lot. Because, believe it or not, YouTube does not like World of Warships Legends. It's just the way it is. So we're a very niche group of people. And we need all the help we can get. Now, in the Vermont, one of the things that I've always said about the Vermont, and one of the things that I had struggled with the Vermont is just, it doesn't fit with World of Warships Legends very well. And what do I mean by that? I mean that it's got a lot of good things, but it's got a lot of negatives that really limited its effectiveness in World of Warships Legends compared to World of Warships PC. World of Warships PC is a much slower paced game and much longer range engagements on average, which allows the Vermont to do things that it wouldn't be able to do in World of Warships Legends, which is the exact opposite, where we have much closer engagements and much faster games in general. And that is the biggest downside to the Vermont in Legends. However, as I'm about to demonstrate, this does not mean that you should discount the Vermont. If you decide that the Vermont is not a threat, well, ask this Alaska what he thinks. 34,000 damage in the opening salvo. Now, I am running the Azure Lane Colorado build that you guys know. It's Colorado with Palo de Revel, I think John Fisher in there, and then as my final slot, I'm running the artillery plotting room. But this Alaska has spawned in, he's lost all of his health, and he's almost certainly going to die very quickly. Now, one of the things I actually got a message about recently was somebody sent me a message saying, Spartan, why don't you support your destroyers? And I would argue that I probably am the one battleship captain that supports my destroyers more than anyone else. So if you got into a match with me and felt like I didn't support you, I apologize, but there's probably a reason behind it. And it's usually meaning because I was shooting at something else at that exact moment, or I wasn't loaded, or something along those lines. But, as we get another shot out at the Alaska, we finish him off. I didn't get the kill, but somebody else did. Now, our destroyer runs straight into their destroyers. He's outnumbered 2-1. That is not ideal. Now, again, this is one of those situations where we want to try to help our destroyer out. I've got my front guns about to be loaded. I'm about to take a shot, and that's when I notice there's Cava, there's Ohio, and this is one of those situations. Our destroyer is already actively disengaging, right? He's already said, okay, I can't win this fight, I'm out. So rather than shoot at the destroyers here, who are both running and trying to dodge actively, I take the hit for the Ohio, who goes full broadside to me. The reason being is that in the longer this game goes on, that Ohio is going to be a problem, right? So if he gives me a chance to take a big hit off of him like that, I gotta try to take it. And speaking of, he's still sailing full broadside. Now, one thing that I do have to get better with this, and it just gets better with time, is trying to aim a little bit better. He does turn in just enough to get me to overpen a lot of those shells, but this guy in this destroyer and I are going to be Giga Chads on this side of the map. What do I mean by that? I mean, this man does not give up on this side. And neither do I. And that is something that people need to learn in this game. Alright? Just because you're outnumbered, just because you're probably going to die, doesn't mean you should just run away and quit playing. Alright? You'll notice that I set up to kite. And not only that, I immediately, once I fired my last shot off of this side, I realized that I'm getting close to the border. Not wanting to hit the border, I go ahead and start flipping the guns to the other side of the boat. Because I'm going to be getting into fights, and I need room to maneuver my ship. And you'll notice that this GK and this Ohio are just textbook battleship captains. They've got one thing on their mind, and that is sailing broadside and firing full broadsides. That is it. That's all they know. They are not going to be smart. They are not going to recognize that I am kiting. They are not going to do anything of note to help their team win this game. All they are going to do is try to take me out. This is the textbook battleship captain mentality. And for all of you battleship captains, ouch, 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 ouch. Okay, I just took a lot of damage, all right? That's what happens when you're fighting two people at once. The Dreadnought Shuffle is a great thing when you're fighting one-on-one. And here's where I'm talking about this Holland. This Holland finds, he re-engages the destroyer, knowing full well that there's a Kaba there as well. But he doesn't just leave these guys alone. He keeps them uncomfortable. He keeps making sure that they realize that there's still a threat out here. And to help the man out, I go ahead and try to get rid of the Worcester in the process. Why? Because radar cruiser. If I can keep my Holland alive, there's a good chance that I'm going to have a little bit more help in this one, which I desperately need. Now again, we didn't lead him enough, and that is just down to my inexperience with the Vermont, even though I've got several games in this, so you guys know that. I've played a lot of Vermont compared to most people, because I tried to give it a chance, right? I really wanted the Vermont to be that next special ship for me, and it's okay, but it's not that next special ship at all. I think the Montana's a better ship overall. I think the Ohio is way better overall, but that's just my personal opinion, and everybody's entitled to theirs, right? So we get another shot out at the GK. Not quite what we were looking for there. Our Holland has taken a beatdown, but he's running away. He is now going to try to do what he can to help again. Notice him immediately turning back around. He's going to try to re-engage at some point. The Kaba that's left over here, I don't really have to worry about the Kaba because he's not going to torp me, right? Like, I'm moving away from the direction he's coming from, so if he tries to torp me, he's going to get spotted well before he gets into torp range. Like, it's just the way things work. Now, this Ohio turns in, eats these torpedoes. Again, this is just showcasing me distracting these battleships, dragging them out to the edges of the map, leaving them vulnerable. They're so intent, so focused on what I'm doing, they're not paying attention to the stuff that's going on around them. And they've chased me all the way out to the edge of the map, taking them so far out of play that they cannot affect anybody on the other side of the map. Now notice 90% of my team is on the other side of the map, right? Or at least 2/3. We'll call it, okay, 66% of the team is on the other side of somebody out there was going to do the math. They were going to leave an angry comment, and I wasn't going to have it. But this time we catch the Ohio opening the angle here, and we place it beautifully right there, center of ship, and just slap the crap out of that man. And this is where the Vermont and the Ohio are very different. Vermont has that huge hit capability where you have the alpha strike at any given moment. I'm sending 12 rounds downrange. That is 4 more rounds than the Ohio gets to send. It doesn't seem like a huge amount of difference, but it is. Now, the Ohio gets the difference in reload, and he does make use of it. But here, as he turns in, we want to slow down. We want to wait for him to pretty much finish his turn, and we want to place the shot into the superstructure as best we can, while also trying to angle away, and we finally get the kill on the Ohio, proving that, of course, Vermont is better than Ohio, clearly. But notice that this GK has kind of stopped chasing us. He's realized that I'm not alone out here, right? I had friends. Well, little did he know I really am alone out here. It was just me. The Holland had moved on. He's now in the B-cap. But this GK is now caught in a situation where he is going to be getting caught in a crossfire. Because all those people that I drug these guys across the map, I drug all these battleships, these 2 battleships, all the way out to the middle of nowhere, where they couldn't affect the other side of the map. That is a lot of firepower taken from your team. And this is why we say we don't chase kites on this channel, right? We don't chase kites, because the only way that kiting works is when you chase them. If you're not chasing the kite has to turn around. It's just how it works. And exactly what am I doing? He stops chasing me, I'm no longer spotted, and now I am re-engaging. Now, as the kite, and knowing that my team has the crossfire, it is my duty to get over here and try to spot this GK and re-engage, because now he's stuck. He's up against the border. He's got nowhere to go. You can see it took me a second to figure out where he's going to pop up. But he's stuck up against the border. He can't really turn away, so he's going to have to turn towards us. We're going to go ahead and start smacking that superstructure. Meanwhile, he's getting shot at by my destroyers in the cap. We're getting cruisers and stuff with crossfires. Battleships have crossfires. And we see the carrier out there as well. So as this GK decides to go full broadside to me after all this time, I'm like, okay, well, I could shoot the GK here, but that GK is not going anywhere. I'm going to take a shot at the carrier just for a little bit of extra damage. And turns out it was a very good option because I slapped the crap out of that carrier and took a nice chunk off of him. 14,910 for one Citadel. And then we fire the rear turrets of Justice and Truth, and we slap the superstructure of the GK for very little. Now remember, the GK and the Montana both got a buff relatively recently that made them tankier overall, meaning that I can't just sit here and farm his superstructure forever because they reduce the amount of hit points that it gives up, right? So he's doing a pretty good job of staying angled, but look at this accuracy that we're starting to get. And he's sailing broadside to my team, and my team is absolutely taking advantage of it. And then just as he thinks that, okay, I can't stay here broadside to all of these guys, I'm going to go broadside to the Vermont because the Vermont just fired, I've still got the rear turrets of Justice and Truth waiting. And, yeah, I don't think that's any doubt. And unfortunately, we don't kill him, but we still managed to break 200,000 damage again in the Vermont, meaning that more and more often I'm starting to put up 200k games in the Vermont, meaning it is becoming more and more effective as the game gets to be a longer game. And the recent changes with the spotting mechanics and stuff, I think, have helped a lot. And we're going to go ahead and give a little GG out there to our buddy in the Holland for his help during this match. Again, absolute Giga Chat. I love when people don't just flat out run away. Like, stay in your area and try to resist. And you'd be surprised how much that can help your team win the game. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Do you think the Vermont is the greatest battleship? Do you think it's the worst battleship at Legendary tier? I want to know. And if you like what I'm doing, punch the like button, leave a comment below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and as always, I will see you in the next video.